Jai Gurudev. So in this sharing this morning, we have a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it was meant to actually continue the topic that we touched the day before yesterday about the synchronization through community prayer, and to see, as we spoke about it afterwards, and how the responses have been on the Satsang, so that it is worthwhile to maybe go deeper into it and to see what we can do to make a step forward in this wonderful topic, not only theoretically, but also practically. And I was thinking, of course, to continue with, I would take the same verse, like on Monday. But then later the thought came, no, it's actually not, the topic is not so flat. There should be another verse that fits, that gets us deeper into the topic, that shows us another aspect to inspire us further. And so I just tapped into the Srimad Bhagavatam and was curious what verse would come up and what would be the inspiration flowing from that and through that. And the verse is from Canto 10, chapter 52, verse 39. Tanme bhavan kalu vritta patirangachayam atmarpitascha bhavato dva vibho videhi ma vira bhagam abhimarshatu chaitya arat gomayuvan mrgapatir balim ambuchakshaha. Sri Rukmini wrote in her message, as read by the Brahmin, "My dear Lord, I have chosen you as my husband, and I surrender myself to you. Please come quickly, O Almighty One, and make me your wife. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, do not let Shishupala touch me like a jackal stealing what belongs to a lion." And this verse is so amazingly rich, and it concerns everybody of us. This verse, what Rukmini is expressing, is something that actually our inner self is expressing all the time. It is what our soul is expressing. It's our inner and deepest longing. So it is something that is happening inside of us. And if we remember what Guruji had said about what was our prayer when we were in the womb of our mothers, oh my God, we are going into this world again. Please, 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 don't let us be stolen away by the shackle. Don't let the shackles touch us. It's actually a similar prayer. And then we come into this world and we are stolen away. And then we start living in this world, getting entangled with this world, and forget. And we get stolen away like Sita got stolen away by Ravana. And if we are lucky, we find that state again where we sit and focus on him and pray that he might come and kill Ravana to free us. Find back into our duty as long as we are bound in our karma, in our worldly duty, so we feel somehow this is not our real duty. And this is when we come to Guruji and ask him, Guruji, what is our dharma? What is our true dharma? And Guruji asks us, what are you doing? Well, I'm a baker. Yeah, well, this is your dharma. What? How can this be? I feel there must be something more important, something more higher. And Guruji also says, why should I give you a higher dharma when you not even can fulfill and handle that what was given to you before, what the Lord gave to you before, what I gave to you before. And so if we ask in this way, when we are entangled in this world, we are entangled in desire. We want something for us. We want something, I want something for me. And what about Rukmini? Rukmini, she does not want anything for herself. She wants that the lion gets what rightfully belongs to him. She's not asking for herself. Lakshmi stands for eternal servitude, complete surrender, oneness with the will of God. Divine Mother is the manifestation of the will of the Lord. There is nothing about me and I and a desire. And this servitude, this eternal servitude in this full surrender, this is what we actually feel when we feel there must be something more in our Dharma, something higher. Yes. There is one Dharma that is connected to the world of desire and the entanglement with the world. This is the lower Dharma and is bound to desire. And there is a higher Dharma which automatically manifests the moment we are fully surrendered. And if we go in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita to chapter 16, the verses 21 to 24, there it is written about the gates to hell, the 3 gates to hell. And these are desire, greed, and anger. And it is written that the one who overcame these qualities starts to act in a way which is a service. He acts in a way that is beneficial to the self. So if there is no more desire, and we are bound to action, as Krishna says, you are bound to act. We cannot do nothing. So if we don't have a desire, so what are we doing then? And in the verses 23 and 24, it says in chapter 16 that we should know the scriptures and study the scriptures. There it is written what to do and what not to do. If we don't have a desire on our own, what to do, so somebody has to say us what to do, isn't it? Because we are bound to do something. So from somewhere, the directive, the order has to come, do this, do that. So then, if we are in a state where we start to dissolve desire and to reduce desire and anger and greed, so gradually the other qualities need to grow. But it is a gradual growing. It's not one switch, that's it. And so we need to learn to follow a higher dharma which is laid down in the scriptures. And the scriptures are one kind, one rupa, one manifestation of the Lord. And so, when Guruji asks us to study the scriptures and to understand them, not just to read them, but to understand them, so and then to follow them, so then we manifest ourselves automatically, step by step, in this higher dharma. And it is all about service. Guruji I want to read it. What he said in the Narada Bhakti Sutra on the 26th of August this year. When you gather in prayer, when the devotees come into Satsang, when the devotees come together, sing bhajan, kirtan, when the devotees come together and do their sadhana together, when they come together and do kriya together, they are doing their meditation together. You know what kind of energy is generated? That spiritual flow of energy, that force which is created during your sadhana together, that force inspires and purifies the hearts of many. So the point here also is that when we do these activities together, it's not primarily about us. It's about the service. If we do this, it purifies and inspires the hearts of many. Many. What does he mean by many? 100? 200? How many does Guruji have in mind when he talks about many? 10 million? Or 2 billion? We don't know. It's many. But if we go into science and learn from what has been studied or investigated, the electromagnetic field of our brain, it has a certain intensity, a certain power. But interestingly, the electromagnetic field of our heart is about 5,000 times more stronger than that of our brain. And when we engage in community sadhana, community prayer, so what happens is that our heart is like a radio station and a radio receiver. It is broadcasting out these qualities and this force of energy into the atmosphere. And these waves go around the world in no time. There is a scientist, or was a scientist, his name is Patrick Flanagan. He should be about 80 years old by now, and he was the inventor of the year of the United States of America. He was awarded by the Patent Office of the United States for being the inventor of the year when he was 8 years old. The inventor of a year of a whole nation like the American States of America when he was 8 years old. When he was 11 years old, his invention that he made for a competition at school was confiscated by the Pentagon. The Pentagon called the director of that school and asked, who did this? And Patrick was brought to the telephone to the director's office. And the director said, the Pentagon is on the telephone and I want to talk to you. And he picked up the phone and said, yes. And the officer from the Pentagon on the other side of the line said, Patrick, where do you know these things from? What he did was that he made from electronic used parts and a few dollars of new parts, he created a missile detector. And he detected from home when the United States did missile tests. And he wrote down the date and time and so on and made a whole list. And this was the invention that he gave into the competition. A list of dates of all the atomic bomb tests the missile tests that the United States did during that time. And he said, well, it's very easy to build such a detector. When a missile starts, the fire that is burned, the gas that is burned when it is pushed up, it creates it ionizes the air where the fire is. And it creates a column, an ionized column, which works as an antenna. And this vibration of this ionized column of air goes around the world in 2 or 3 seconds. And it can be just picked up when you tap into the right frequency. That's it. Very simple. Now imagine our hearts. This enormously powerful generator of vibration that goes out, especially when we come together and we create this unity, this synchrony with this powerful field that just goes around the world, and what it does, only Guruji knows, or the saints who can perceive it, but it must be incredible. And this becomes clearly an incredible service. And Guruji pointed out in the orange prayer book that we had before this, prior to this one now, it was written, and is still written, this book still exists, that Guruji says community prayers is the highest duty of us. It comes before work. So when it's community prayer, we should lay down work and go to community prayer. It comes before personal sadhana, personal kriya, personal pujas. It is the topmost priority. And when we reflect it in this way, and to see it as a service, and reflect deeper into that, then we learn, and we are confronted every day with the question, are we ready for our higher dharma? Service. Are we ready for the most important service first? And then, of course, if we do a service, when we go for community prayer, are we aware that it is a service? Or do we go to community prayer for us? Because it's nice, it feels nice. And we consume it somehow. But what do we do with our mind? What with our emotions? What with our thoughts? Our imagination? How deep and intense and perfect are we engaging in that prayer? Are we aware that everybody is at service at that time? Everybody who comes. And if not so, or if yes, can we improve our service? And how can we do it? And this was actually the inspiration to go deeper into that topic. And as we see often, community prayers are still not very popular. But the idea and the inspiration is, and the question is, maybe now is the time that we make it more popular, that we inspire one another, and go deeper into the topic, deeper than now, and learn about it, its importance, and why Guruji gives such a importance to it. Maybe now it's the time that we pick up this weapon and to inspire the world more and deeper. That would be great. Jai Gurudev.